Space pushes the human body to its limits. No air, no gravity, and constant radiation. And yet humans keep going. Today we're diving into how astronauts use tissue chips to uncover how our bodies really work in space. Let's start with what we already know. Space isn't instantly deadly, but everything out there is extreme. There's radiation, no gravity, and no natural protection like we have on Earth. When Apollo astronauts crossed the Van Allen radiation belts, they spent only a few hours there, just enough to keep their exposure low, roughly equal to a few medical X-rays on Earth. But astronauts on the International Space Station spend months in orbit. Even though they are partly shielded by Earth's magnetic field, radiation builds up. 1 week in space equals about 1 year of natural exposure on Earth. And that's the only part of the challenge. In microgravity, body fluids drift upward, faces swell, bones lose calcium, and muscles shrink. Even the immune system slows down. Over time, these effects change how genes behave and how our cells repair themselves. So the big question is, how do we get ready for deep space missions that might last years? Before sending astronauts farther into space, scientists have already started testing something remarkable: tiny devices called human tissue chips or organ chips. With the size of an USB stick, each functions as a miniature organ. Scientists grow these cells in a carefully designed microenvironment, with channels that carry nutrients and remove waste, so the tissue behaves just like it would in the human body. These chips react to stress, medicines, or radiation in the same way real human tissue does. On Earth, they are already helping researchers study cancer, heart disease, and aging, faster, safer, and without using animals. But there's a crucial difference. These cells are still on Earth with gravity pulling on them every moment. So, to truly understand how the human body responds in space, researchers decided to send these organ chips into orbit. And that's exactly what NASA and the National Institute of Health have done since 2018, sending organ chips to the International Space Station. The results were both fascinating and concerning. In space, some cells aged faster, muscles weakened, and even the way DNA behaved inside cells began to change. But the ISS is still close enough to Earth to be partly protected by our planet's magnetic shield. The next step, testing these chips farther away. NASA's Artemis II mission will be the first crewed flight around the Moon in more than 50 years. But beyond making humanity's return, it introduces a revolutionary approach to studying life in deep space. Alongside the 4 astronauts, it will also carry their biological twins, tiny organ chips made from their own cells. This project, called Avatar, will help scientists see how deep space radiation and microgravity affect the body at the smallest scale. Each chip includes bone marrow cells, among the most sensitive to radiation. During the 10-day journey, this chip will experience the same environment as the astronauts, while identical samples stay on Earth as controls. After the mission, scientists will compare the results to see how deep space exposure changes cell health, DNA stability, and how well our cells can repair themselves. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. The data from these experiments could redefine how we explore and survive in space. If we understand exactly how radiation and weightlessness damage our cells, we can test better ways to protect them. From improved diets and supplements to special molecules that guard our DNA. The discoveries could teach us how the human body adapts, heals, and survives, both in space and back here on Earth. And what is remarkable is that these experiments aren't about leaving our planet. They are about understanding it and ourselves better.